I knew something was wrong when my card declined at the grocery store. I don't live recklessly. I track my expenses. I always know how much is in my account. So when the cashier said transaction failed, I felt a cold wave run through me. I stepped aside and opened my banking app. The balance was almost zero. I stared at the screen, convinced it was a glitch. Then I saw the transaction history. A massive payment processed 2 days ago at a luxury car dealership. I don't own a car. My hands started to shake, not from panic, but from disbelief. I called the bank immediately. They confirmed the payment was authorized using my online credentials. Correct password, correct OTP, everything legitimate. Someone hadn't hacked me. Someone I trusted had access. I drove straight to my parents' house. My sister's new, bright red two-seater sports car was parked outside, shining like a trophy under the sun. I didn't need to ask. I already knew. She walked out of the house, keys in hand, smiling. Surprise, what do you think? I looked at the car, then at her. Where did you get the money? I asked calmly. She laughed. Relax, you had savings. You never even use it. I'll pay you back. I blinked. You used my money. She rolled her eyes. Don't be dramatic. It's just sitting there. I needed this, and you're my sister. I walked inside. My parents were in the living room. Did you know about this? I asked. My mom sighed. She was so excited, we didn't want to ruin it. My dad added, she'll return it eventually. Why make a scene? Why make a scene? My entire savings, years of discipline, planning, security, gone. And they were worried about her excitement? I didn't shout, I didn't accuse. I sat down quietly. In that moment, something clicked. They didn't see this as theft, they saw it as sharing, because in this family, my effort was always considered a common resource. My sister's desires were always considered urgent needs. She didn't steal, my mom said softly. She just borrowed without asking. I nodded slowly. Okay, I said. That confused them. You're not angry? My sister asked. No, I replied calmly. I understand. And I did. I understood that in their eyes, my boundaries didn't exist. My hard work didn't belong only to me. My sacrifices were invisible compared to her wants. I stood up. I'll handle it, I said. They thought I meant emotionally, that I would get over it. They had no idea I meant something else entirely. I walked out of the house, past the shining red car, and smiled slightly. They thought they had taken my money. They had no idea what they had just triggered. I didn't call her, I didn't argue, I didn't demand the money back. I went home and opened my laptop. First, I reviewed the transaction details carefully. Date, time, authorization method, device used, location tag from the bank's security log. Everything pointed to one thing. The payment had been made from my sister's phone. She hadn't even tried to hide it. To her, this wasn't a crime. It was entitlement. I contacted the bank again, this time asking for a formal fraud investigation, not emotionally, procedurally. They asked, do you confirm this transaction was not authorized by you? Yes, I said calmly. That one sentence changed everything. Within hours, the case was escalated. The dealership was notified. The bank froze the remaining amount linked to the purchase. A hold was placed on the vehicle registration process. I didn't feel revenge. I felt clarity. For the first time, I wasn't handling this as a sister. I was handling this as the owner of stolen funds. The next day, my phone rang nonstop. My sister, then my mom, then my dad. I didn't pick up. By evening, my father showed up at my door. What did you do? He demanded, trying to keep his voice low. I reported an unauthorized transaction, I replied calmly. You're making this legal? He asked, shocked. It already was the moment she used my money. He stared at me like he was seeing me for the first time. She's panicking, he said. The dealership called. They said the car might be seized. There could be legal consequences. I nodded. She didn't think of consequences when she used my savings. He tried a different angle. She said she was going to pay you back. From what? I asked quietly. She doesn't have a job. Silence. For years, this had been the pattern. My discipline funded her impulses. My patience enabled her behavior. My silence allowed it to repeat. Not this time. My mother called later, crying. "You're humiliating your sister. People will find out." I replied gently, "She humiliated herself the moment she thought my hard work belonged to her." The investigation moved fast because from the bank's perspective, this was simple digital proof: device logs, authorization trail, clear misuse of access. The dealership contacted my sister directly. They informed her that unless the payment issue was resolved, the car would be repossessed and the case could proceed as financial fraud. That was when she finally came to my house. Not angry, not arrogant, scared. "Please withdraw the complaint," she said, eyes red. "I didn't think you'd go this far." I looked at her calmly. "You went this far when you took my money." "You're my sister," she cried. "And I am a person," I replied, "not your backup bank account." She had no response. For the first time in her life, her actions had real consequences. She couldn't cry, shout, or charm her way out. I didn't yell, I didn't insult her. I just let the process continue. 2 days later, the car was taken back by the dealership. The money was partially recovered through reversal, and the remaining amount was marked for legal recovery from her. My parents stopped calling, not because they were angry, because they were uncomfortable. They had always believed I would tolerate anything to keep peace, that I would sacrifice quietly, like always. They didn't recognize this version of me, the one who didn't shout, the one who didn't argue, the one who simply refused to be used. Weeks passed. The house went quiet. Family group chats silent. No one mentioned the car again, but something had changed permanently. They learned that my calmness was not weakness. It was a boundary. And once crossed, it didn't lead to drama. It led to action. A month later, I visited my parents. No one mentioned the car first. The silence around it was heavy. Then my mom said quietly, "Your sister is looking for a job." I nodded. "That's good." My dad looked at me carefully. "You really changed." "I didn't," I replied. "I just stopped allowing things." They understood what that meant without me explaining. For years, my patience had been mistaken for permission, my silence for approval. Now they saw the difference. My sister avoided eye contact when she entered the room, not out of anger, but awareness. She finally understood that my boundaries were real. I didn't lecture her, I didn't remind her, I just treated her normally because the lesson had already been delivered, without shouting, without revenge, without drama. They thought using my savings was a small family matter. They didn't know it would be the moment I stopped being the family safety net and started being my own protection.